Hey, what's up, everybody? So this is Stocks for Rail, and welcome to my channel. Right. Um, Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about um, applying what you learn in making mistakes. Now, anybody that follows me, anybody knows me, you know that I'm primarily like focused on stock market. However, um, that's what I do. That's the action that I take. But the real grind is the discipline that it takes in order to be a trader, not just a trader, but a profitable trader. Now, I keep it a buck. Everybody knows that I keep it 100. And one thing I will tell you is that I am profitable in certain aspects of the market, and I am not yet profitable in other aspects of the market. So when it comes to stock trading, right, buying low, selling high, dollar cost averaging into high conviction plays, things like that, I'm up, right? But when it comes to like options and futures, I'm still not net positive since the day I had begun trading options. Well, why is that? Well, part of the reason, and I'm sure a lot of us share the same sentiment, but part of the reason is because I'm hard headed, right? Um, One thing that we all must admit is that the blueprint as far as how to do something, anything in life, is out there and available, right? There's nothing that you can't look up and do, right? Like there's nothing that you can't figure out that's not already on the internet or that has not already been done. There's things that people are doing that they are putting on YouTube for free for us to watch and to do, and just they're showing us the roadmap as far as how they got there, right? And it's kind of part of why I'm doing this channel too, because there's a different route that some creators, I believe, have skipped. Not skipped as far as like a personal growth situation, but skipped as far as the sharing of that the struggling stages of the journey and like how they overcame. I think it's easier to speak broadly from a uh, position of making it, right? Like from being at another level or being at like the goal that you set for yourself and looking back and then like talking to your old self as who you are now. You know, it's just like some of the, I guess some people, some rappers, some like high profile individuals that come from nothing, right? Like people that come from nothing. Sometimes, what do you do? First thing you're trying to do is make it out the hood. Like, and just as an example, right? You're trying to get out of the hood, rather it was like a community type of hood or just a hood where everybody hated everybody and it was just violence and just people dying all the time, right? Like you're just drugs and all the other stuff, right? Like you're just trying to escape that environment in order to just find another way, see if you can be better, right? So you have that type of hood where you grew up there and you'll never go back there. You don't care about anything there or whatever, right? And then you have the other type of hood where, you know, all that stuff still exists, but maybe you're in a bubbled like hood community where the block and the next block over and the next block around the corner is community driven, and it's like where peace is, you know, where peace is, and then it's a community raising a community, right? Like there's levels to it, right? So for that type of hood, you'll leave and then you'll like, man, I just want to make it so I can come back and then do something for the team, right? For um, my mom's best friend that helped raise me, you know, whatever, right? But anyway, so but most people, not most people, but some people coming out of like a toxic environment growing up, the goal is to escape, and not just escape, but make it, right? Just do something with them, their lives, and break the mold, break the like that cycle of like just being stuck, right? So and then they just don't look back. They don't look back at anything there. They just focus on their immediate family, the family, and they just move forward, right? So I say that because some people, right, are those people. Some people are where they have made it, and now they have maybe like this suppressed memory. I have suppressed memories. I mean, it doesn't matter, but you have this blanket view of like what you did to get to where you are. However, the grind, even before that, like there's a wall that probably came up. There was like a turning point, right? Where you weren't on cruise control, but you kind of understood exactly, well, kind of what to do in order to take it to the next level. But what about all the stuff that you went through before that point, right? How did you get to the point where things started to click and then you started to make like the good mistakes, right? Um, and there's good mistakes and bad mistakes, and hopefully that makes sense. But when you're making good mistakes, that means that you're making mistakes towards the goal, and there's things that you're doing that you can learn from, fix, and then correct, and then and then progress, move forward. And then there's just mistakes just being dumb, right? Because either you're ignorant or you're stupid, like it's just like it's one or the other, right? So I'm not calling anybody stupid, but we all do stupid stuff all the time. But anyway, I'm speaking to this because, again, we have all the information that we need to do something, but why aren't we doing it, right? Well, it's more than the blueprint, right? If somebody gave you a script, like you ran into a famous actor, right? And they seen you at a bar and they just start talking to you. It's like, you know what? You'd be perfect for this role, right? I'll pay you $1 million if you study this script and you act it out on camera and done. $1 million. I 100% guarantee, can't say 100%, but I guarantee that most people would say, well, look at that script, they'll take it and they'll study it like the back of their hands and get that bag, right? Why that, right? Well, because there's an immediate reward. Like they see the platter of dollars, like the millions, like, okay, I do this, I get this, boom, easy. But there's a disconnect when you're someone like in the market or pursuing anything in life, I think, where we have to think 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years out into retirement before we can like see the end goal. So it's really easy to get everything kind of muddled between today and the future. So it's not the script because the road is paved. And I think it's just in our I guess our minds, like I just as a society, I think we want the bag now. Like we have this mindset of, well, there has to be a faster way. There has to be an easier way. Like there shouldn't be like I shouldn't have to grind 30 years like that guy did, right? And it makes sense to have that mindset only because like you're right in the sense of the blueprint being laid out for you. But what a lot of people don't talk about is the intangibles that go into getting to the ability or getting to, yeah, the ability to be able to follow the blueprint to the T. Because if I gave you step-by-step instructions as far as how to clean the carburetor on a small engine and you miss a step, then once you put it all back together, it's not going to work, right? So it's really important, right, to have the discipline to follow the script. Well, That's where everything kind of comes in, and that's where everybody I think struggles, and I think that's like the $1 million like word and topic and whatnot that I think content creators that are more skilled and more well versed um, than me, and then has all this money for editing and whatever. I just think that that should be more of the focus, because there's things that people had gone through um, that they had to overcome in order to get to the point where success started to become reality, or the possibility of success started to become reality. And I think people don't understand that the struggles that you go through aren't independently yours. And what I mean by that is that you aren't the only person going through what you're going through. Like, somebody that is struggling, I don't care what the topic is or the issue is, I guarantee you that there's someone in the world that's watching YouTube or videos or whatever out right now that is going through the same thing, searching and looking for that type of content, that specific issue, uh, because it's something that they have not been able to overcome. And if and sometimes you won't even know exactly what to search for. So what do? We live in this category of stock market. For those that are in the stock market, and that's primarily why you follow me, or you know um, you know look at my content. But um, you stay in this category called stock market, and you're trying to figure out the secret sauce. Like, because the blueprint's there. You got people going live all the time showing you that they're trading. You got people going um, putting out videos as far as what their technical analysis is, or how they break down a company, or um, what their trading plan is or strategy is. And you, again, that's the blueprint. You have everything you need. You have multiple blueprints to choose from, and and one, you have to figure out what works for you, and then two, you have to make it your own. But the most important thing is following your plan. And that's really difficult. And the reason why that's difficult is because in the market, it's hard to follow somebody else's plan. I'll tell you that. Like, it's hard to say, oh, he's doing it that way, I'll do it that way, and I'll be just as successful as him or her, right? It's hard to follow that because that's their plan. That's their strategy. That's their way of thinking. That's their process, right? And unknowingly to you, you'll try it, but for some reason it's not working, and you don't understand why. And that's because you're biologically made up different. Like, you're mentally, um, you mentally observe and go about your way of doing things. It's different. It's just like you won't be able to get out of your own way, and that's why you might see um, YouTubers that are talking about the stock market, or on X or Instagram, whatever, talking about um, developing your own strategy, or making your own way. Because if you make it, if you create it, if you devise a plan, um, you will be more likely to follow it, because you're making up a plan based on how you view the market, right? And how you are as a charactered individual, and so how you grind through life, what's your goals, your ambitions, like, so your plan, your aspirations, your strategies, all that stuff, that should be all catered to who you are as a person, right? So, but wouldn't that be the important question? Who you are as a person, right? Like, I think you have a really good sense of who you are. Let me say we, because I don't want to talk at you, but like we, because I'm in this boat too. I think we have a really good sense of who we are. However, there's things that it, it could be something so small, but there's things that we have yet to define within ourselves, that make conquering this market very, very challenging, right? That is your journey in the stock market. That's your journey in anything that you give 100% to and you're committed to, right? If you're trying to get out of your day-to-day job and you're not really happy with um, the degree you got in college or the status you have in life, then and you want to do something about it, then you'll do something about it. You'll start exploring things. You'll start Googling things and searching and listening to people and figure out what they did and blah, 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 right? But part of that process is figuring out who you are as a person. And again, it's not just who you are, right? It's it's identifying or isolating that thing yet discovered within yourself, because that thing comes out only when you get uncomfortable with yourself, in my opinion. It's not until you get uncomfortable with yourself and outside of your comfort zone, as far as like your day to day, when you start to pursue something that's out, like going against the grain of your day to day, I think that's when that isolated aspect of who you are starts to reveal itself. And the problem with that is it doesn't reveal itself fully, right? I would name it if I were you. I named my whatever that person was, and I forgot what his name was. I gotta figure it out. I think it was like Bruce or something, like something weird. I gotta ask my wife because I told her, who this other person was that's like making me do ignorant, stupid stuff, right? Especially when it comes to the market. But anyway, name it, isolate it. But you won't necessarily know exactly who or what that aspect is, what that piece of you is, because the only thing you'll know is that it's there. Like, that's the presence will be felt when you start to step fully into like being committed into like this pursuit of having a better life or more financial freedom or more time or what have you, right? So when that piece of you starts to like chime in, like, again, you don't know what it is. Your job at that point is to continue like learning, right? Learning and like trying to push yourself in this market and just try to improve as a trader and gaining all these skills. But you also got to remember, while you're doing that, this little thing back here that's, in your head, that's part of you that you didn't know was there, is going to have you make mistakes, and it's going to do it over and over and over again for as long as you continue to operate as if he or she is no big deal. Okay? So I believe that identifying what that is, why it's the way that it is, and just understanding it is probably the number one goal, because you can have the blueprint to $1 billion, $1 trillion. Somebody can give me the blueprint for $1 billion right now. Well, not right now, but when I started in the market, and that blueprint could say it'll take me 5 years to get $1 billion, and $1 billion, but it'll take me 5 years to get $1 billion if I follow the steps. Well, something tells me that me 3 years ago wouldn't be that much closer to that $1 billion today. And that's really like sad and horrible to say, but I mean, it's real. I think it's just real because I already know what I went through to even get to the point that I'm at right now. And when I say blueprint, it's not like laid out, like written, like step-by-step instructions. It's like, here's like YouTube, here's a category of stuff. Here's all the books in the world with all these different viewpoints, but they all lead to the same road. Like, and then you have to cherry pick what works for you along the way. Like, that's the blueprint. So having to dissect all that and try to map it out, right, isn't that, like, mapping it out isn't that hard, but understanding, or the idea of it being real is kind of like it's hard to conceptualize. Um, and I think that's part of it too. So part of things is visualizing your future and what you want that future to look like, right? Do you believe in the goals that you're setting for yourself? Then two is, are you willing to take a step back and figure out who in the hell is in the driver's seat? Because if you're failing, then and if you're failing and you know you are, and you're making the same mistakes, then you know it's not you. Like, it's not you that's driving. So eventually you need to take the keys out of the ignition and then have a real conversation with yourself, right? And even after that conversation is had, that doesn't mean that things are going to be that much more clearer, but it does mean that you're on the right track as far as figuring out how to move with this other being or this other characteristic that's within you that you weren't aware of. So the self-awareness game for the stock market is, to me, the most important thing. Trading, like having the strategies and the technical analysis and stock picking and all that stuff is like teaching your kid how, like, to brush their teeth, like, or going into a room and turning on a light switch, or I don't know, picking up the remote controller and turning on Netflix. It's something that, like, with repetition is going to be automated. Those skills and, like, the things, like, you have to do essentially repetitively in the stock market in order to win. So that's the easy part. It's the easy part. The hard part is the grind of finding what way works best for you, and then identifying, what strategy you use in what market, if you're the type that needs a strategy in various market conditions, right? So anyway, grinding through yourself is important. Now, again, keeping it a buck, I'm not where I want to be, but I'm so optimistic more now than ever because of some things that I went through, and then things that that kind of, I don't know, made me feel just more enlightened today. Like, I set some goals, I hit my goals, right? And I'm still grinding to the next one. So anyway, I just wanted to say that, like, if you are in the stock market or anything in life, right? And if everything that you're taking in, everything that you're consuming, everything that you're learning, if you're not applying it, then you're wasting your time, right? If you're looking up strategies and you use it for one day, you're wasting your time, and you look up another strategy and another strategy and another strategy. If you're reading self-help books or you are looking up videos as far as, like, how to be more disciplined, or whatever the category may be, and you're not applying it, then you're wasting your time. And time is the most important thing, because time is currency. Time is the most expensive thing that we have in life, in my opinion. And that's why a lot of my life I've strived to have more time. Now I have more time, but now I want more money. And to get more money, I must sacrifice some time. But I need to know that the time that I'm sacrificing is leading me down the path to financial freedom, and that the time that I'm sacrificing is temporary, right? I wear a watch, right? Sometimes I have a lot of watches. I'm not a huge watch. I don't look at the time. I have a phone, right? But I buy like Invicta watches, right? Because they're big, they're bold, and it's for me the biggest representation of the importance of time. So for every goal or accomplishment that I achieved, I bought a watch. Like any major milestone, right? I bought a watch because the watch represents something that's important to me. Okay. So I say all this to say, if you are a trader or if you are pursuing something outside of the norm, like in order to improve your life, and you think you've been at it for a while and you haven't gotten to where you want it to be, then I challenge you to sit back, take a step back, and really think about why you aren't where you are. And I can almost guarantee that it's not because of the blueprint. I can almost guarantee that it's something in you, right? And I hate to say that it is you, because you want to blame yourself, but I don't like to do that, because when you really think about it, you are taking yourself out of your comfort zone and you're pursuing something, and you're taking a road less traveled. You're doing something that 98% of the population probably aren't doing, to better themselves. You're almost there. You're way closer than anybody else. You just need to take the time and figure out, well, what's the faint thing in my head that's keeping me from getting over the hump. So I can tell you what mine was, but at the same time, I'm going to keep that close to my chest just for now. And the reason for that is because I feel like I'm right there. But I still need to fully step over the line, right? And while things are fresh in my head, right, before I make my millions, while everything's fresh in my head, I will be putting out the various things that's worked for me, because it's never just one thing. And one thing that, probably, if you think about the I don't know, maybe millions of pages I've read and the thousands of hours that I've listened to on YouTube or audiobooks, or and then the countless hours I spent in the stock market charting and trying various strategies. The money I've lost, the money that I've gained, there's a lot of lessons there, and you can't really just learn that overnight. But I guess what I'm saying is that I'll share it all, because what didn't work for me might work for somebody else, right? That's why there's multiple blueprints as far as how to make it in this market, because there's multiple ways to make money in this market. There's multiple ways to make money in the world, right? If money is the end all be all goal. But so I'll share with you every book that I've read, what I gained from it, every podcast that I listen to or whatever, every key YouTuber that that had some, not influence, I guess, I've taken something from. I learn from everybody, even if they're not that smart. You just take what you can from the people that you come in contact with. I'll share with you the various trade strategies that I know work, but they only worked for me part of the time, or it just wasn't consistent enough where I was profitable. But maybe those are so simplified, like where it makes sense to you, and it can get you going, right? So I'll share all of it. Like, I have a plan to share all of it. But I just wanted to speak to the little faint person in your head, the characteristic that you're not addressing, that you may not be addressing more so. And the importance to do that in order for you to move forward. Because if you don't do that, then you're on the treadmill and you're wasting your time. Because that little guy or little girl, whoever the hell it is, they're not going to let you achieve the ultimate goal that you want to achieve. Okay? So, that being said, your boy hit 900 followers on Instagram. Thank y'all so much for rocking with me. I'm almost at 900 here on YouTube. I appreciate all the love and support. So if you can hit that like and subscribe, thank you. I got my Apex prop firm account funded, and this was a grind, but I'm so happy because when I got this account funded, it felt like the right way. It felt like it was not a fluke, right? It felt like this is step one. Goal one is to get funded. Goal two is to take out my first withdrawal, and this after 10 days. But I'm putting that goal on hold because I want to do it again. So I'm going to open up another eval account, and I'm going to fund that one, get that one funded. And once I get that one funded, I'll feel more confident. I think that much more confident. But all the while, I'm still learning. I'm still studying. I'm still sharpening my tools to improve my trading skills. So in the meantime, I'm going to keep pumping out some content that makes sense. And, I'm a SoFi guy. And so I'm rocking with SoFi. And I'm going to be looking into PLTR a little bit more, hoping for another pullback. We might not see it. Chewy, I still own shares of that. I'm only down $200 on my shares. And then Roku, I think there's earnings coming up today. Something's coming up today, but I had a golden line on my chart that's marking today. So and right now we're on the upward trajectory. So hopefully that unfolds the way it's supposed to. Better later than never, right? So next up, I'm focusing on my futures trading for now, and I will be looking for my next high conviction stock very soon after the SoFi earnings, I want to say, because I think this is going to be the earnings that just turns the corner, just like PLTR when they reported 2 consecutive profitable quarters in a row, and they shot up to I think $20. I think SoFi is probably going to do the same thing. At least I want them to, but you never know. Retail investors still own majority of the SoFi shares, so that is also something that kind of goes against this when the institutions aren't in control. So they need to be in control so they can pump the stock. Yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah. Well, hey, this is Stocks for Real. I hope this was informative. I hope this wasn't a waste of your time. I know it's 33 minutes, but at the same time, sometimes you just need to vent this stuff out, and sometimes you just need to hear it. I know by me making these videos, I listen back to them on my drives, and then it's like, oh yeah, I said that. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Maybe I need to take a step back because that little guy, it's like he's there again, right? I'm losing control. I need to regain control so I can continue on, not lose the progress that I've made, right? So again, this is Stocks for Real. Like, subscribe, comment. Let me know if there's particular stocks that you're looking in that you want me to look into and or TA. By doing that, you're only helping me look at different companies as well as improve my technical skills and also improve my content creating skills, because I'm still kind of not used to the YouTube thing. I'm not used to talking to a camera or to myself as I'm looking at myself. It's kind of weird, but it is what it is. Appreciate y'all. Thanks. Take care.